So Brownie, goes without saying, fantastic win today. I guess initially after the game, what are your immediate thoughts?
Yeah, I thought we certainly showed what our brand's all about today, especially in the second half. Our contested football was outstanding. The way we linked up with our handball through the middle and created some really good avenues to goal was really pleasing. It was a real arm wrestle in the first half, and we got on top really early in the third quarter, which was pivotal.
What do you think was able to get you guys on top at the start of that second half?
Yeah, look, I thought in the first half, when Winnie and I were walking to the change rooms, we thought we were a bit fumbly below our legs, trying to get the outside guys. We're trying to rush handballs. We were missing targets there when we had guys that were out, and we just cleaned that up a little bit in the second half. We were one touch, getting it into the outside guys, and we run and carried really well in the second half.
Ben McGuinness obviously kicked quite a few goals late, but seemed to be a really good presence up forward for you all day. Kicked 7, I think, in the end.
Yep.
What did you make of his performance today?
Yeah, he was outstanding today, and he's one of those guys we've got the luxury of do we start him down back or do we start him down forward this week? And I think he's just been itching to jump out of his skin and start clunking some marks, and we thought we'd start him down forward this week, and that proved to be in our favour because he probably took nearly 10 or 11 contested marks and finished with 7 goals.
Another week in for Thor and Tute. How did you find their performances today?
Yeah, really good. We even tried Thor in the midfield for Spurs today, and I think he got the first centre clearance after half time, which was good. Created a goal for us. So yeah, he's obviously going to build on that with every game he plays now, and he creates a presence that he has to get a good defender every time. Toe was also good in the ruck, finished with a goal as well. So yeah, he's getting match fitness.
A couple of really big ins today late, obviously with Nick Baker and Matty McGuinness coming back from Allies duties. I know Nick, first senior game for the club today. How did you see their roles and performances today? Yeah,
they were both pretty solid, especially Bakes. It was his first game for the club, and I thought he was outstanding. I thought he was in our better players. It's hard to judge how they're going to come back because they've had big championships and they've been building something to get drafted, and then when they come back sometimes you get those young kids come back and they're on a bit of a down, but Matt comes back, he plays with his 2 brothers, so that's going to give him something to aspire to play well, and then Base coming back for his first game also, he wants to prove a point, and hopefully those 2 boys can continue it on for the rest of the year because they're certainly in draft contention.
Knocked off a couple of really strong teams the last few weeks. Just happy with the way the group's coming together at this stage of the season? Yeah, look, you get asked the same question in some of the interviews about how now we're starting to turn it around, and at the start of the year we had a lot of new faces in the team, plus the injuries we picked up, and we've certainly got a lot more continuity amongst the group now, and the new guys understand how we expect them to play. It's given that first option and not trying to beat tackles, and the defensive pressure has to be up all the time, and that was really good today. We had 2 major roles today, and Josh McGuinness on Jay Bowden, plus Leo Harrison went to Reece Mott, and they're 2 of the best players in the league, and I think both guys did a really good job of shutting them out of the game. Any injuries to report from today? You got through okay?
Yeah, once again I can touch wood when I find it. We've got through unscathed, and we'll look to build on Launceston next week.
So tough day at the office for the boys today, PK. What are your initial thoughts after today?
Yeah, I mean we looked at it up to 3/4 time, and obviously looked at a lot of the stats, scoring shots, contested ball, inside 50s, clearances, all that was really even. But Lauderdale just done a great job of converting. They really finished their work off, and we didn't. And then sort of the last quarter you look at it completely differently because we did drop away, and that was disappointing. And it's those ones where when you go into a 3/4 time 5 goals down, like often teams, if they get a couple of quick ones, they get up and about, they're a chance. But the really good teams just lock it down and grind away. There's 30 minutes there to get 5 goals, and things can happen quickly. So we were pretty disappointed with the team, and they're disappointed themselves that they just didn't hang in there and let the floodgates open. And Lauderdale were cleaner than us today. It was a really high pressure game, as you'd expect from 2 teams that do that well, and but they just, as the game went on, they were a bit cleaner around the stoppages, and not just the stoppages, but around the contest. And that's probably one of the reasons that they were able to then own the territory battle later in the game and pile some goals on.
Obviously the scoreboard late there's, as you mentioned, the floodgates were open. It makes it look like an even bigger deficit and more goals being conceded. The defence has been really strong for the most part this year. Are there any concerns with, I guess, leaking a few extra goals today, or do you think it's an issue for further up the field and the boys in defence combined?
No, I don't think so. I mean, in the last quarter we changed some things around to be a bit more attacking down back, and then, you know, Lauderdale capitalised on that, and you know, they've got a talented forward group, and and as I said, like, all around the ground we dropped off, so the ball coming in gets better. In the first half they just didn't really get much clean ball at all, and both teams that was the case, because the pressure was really good, and in the third quarter they just started to get those uncontested marks, and that allows you to construct your entries, makes it harder to defend. So we'll look through that and just show the guys, but they know it. And a day like today might not necessarily be a bad thing if we learn from it and bounce back, and it just resets the vision a little bit after a few wins in a row where you think you're going well. You just have a day like this. If you treat it well, you can get, you know, it can actually help you later in the season.
Harry Parker, particularly early, looked to be a really dangerous, focal point for you up in inside 50, taking quite a few contested marks. How did you see his performance today, and I guess his role moving forward, either in defence or in attack? Yeah,
I mean, Harry's sort of locked down that tall forward role all season, and he's one we've invested some time in. And with all our guys, and particularly our younger guys, we just sort of, you know, they understand what their role is and what we need them to deliver to stay in the team. And you know, today was great because all year, while he's given us sort of work rate and pressure, and some contests in the air, we keep saying to him, you've got to start clonking some marks. And today he led really well at the footy and took a couple of contested marks. And you know, this week he can do some goal kicking practice, because if he capitalises on his work in the first half, it's a different story. But as they say, bad kicking is bad football. So, but no, pleased to see him clunk some marks, and hopefully that, you know, buoys him a little bit for the rest of the year.
Zach Webster's return this week. He showed a few flashes of, I guess, the skills we all know him for. How did you see his first game back after a little while out?
Yeah, it was good. I guess with Matty Joseph out, we sort of played him in a different role to what Zach's used to, but we just wanted to allow him to work himself into the game, work himself back into playing. You know, we gave him a bit of a different job in the second half, and he did it really well. And you could see his ability to pressure is great, and so it was nice, and an excellent goal, which is what he's capable of. So it's just good to have him back, good to get him through the game unscathed, and hopefully, you know, he can take another small step next week.
A couple of really tough games in a row. Obviously Lauderdale this week, North Launceston next week. What will be the key messages throughout the week for you guys?
Oh, I mean, we've got to manage our bodies well to come up for this tough game coming up, but it's just the same. I mean, you know, we've played North Launceston twice. Some of the guys have played them a lot over the last few years, so we know North Launceston, they know us, and it's just getting back to playing the footy the way we want to play, and making sure we're the hardest working team on the ground. And so I look forward to the challenge, and again, you know, we sort of have a saying that you know, the season and games it's like a roller coaster. You don't scream on the way down, you don't laugh on the way up. You know, you're going to have these moments, and you saw it with Lauderdale. They've stuck at what they were doing after a bad start. Launceston are starting to turn their season around. You know, ours has been an up and down season, but the guys have stuck at it pretty well. So it's really important to understand the big picture and keep working at it. And next week will be a good test again, just to see where we're at coming into these last few games.